What if I told you a 12th grader accidentally uncovered a medical crisis on a dusty factory floor and ended up restoring vision for over 3,700 workers? This is Harsh Kedia. His story starts with a casual visit to his dad's construction site and leads to a nationwide campaign for eye health that even caught the government's eye. But it's not just about charity. In this episode, you'll learn how Harsh built credibility, got featured in 9 newspapers, spoke at TEDx, and pitched his startup at the University of Michigan, all before graduating school. And if you're a teen or parent watching this, stay till the end. You'll hear practical strategies on how a teen can start something impactful with zero money, no network, and just one powerful idea. Let's dive in.
Is there any funny or unexpected moment when you launched eye care or in launchx that made you think, oh my god, this is wild, or wow, I didn't expect this?
Yeah, so a moment like that is when we started, we it was just a small gesture and it was not something significant that I thought of, but it's now so big that it's quite unexpected. And while we even do these scams, I think it's on my part, I used to think it's such a small gesture. It's the least that we can do for the workers. But to them, it means the world. And I'm reminded of an incident. My mother told me that a lady worker came to her and told her, like, in such a grateful manner, that thank you for providing us with these glasses. Now I would be able to teach my daughter again. So I think moments that like these are quite heart melting. And even when I spoke at TEDx, it was quite a cool and surprising moment. I'd never expected in my life that I would get an opportunity like that, being able to speak on a global platform where the world's biggest businessmen, the most accomplished people have spoken.
True.
Yes, these were the moments.
You started this eye care equality, that too with workers. What is your relation? How did you come into contact with these workers and you felt that you need to do something about it?
Yeah, so I come from a business family, and my dad had a construction site where so I used to visit that space quite often. I used to visit his office, his factories quite often, and I had an interest in business for a long time. So once went to his construction site where he had ordered about 1,000 square feet of tiles or marbles extra. So those were in excess, but towards the end of the completion of the building, what we noticed was that the tiles came out to be short. So one day, me and my father had gone. We were just discussing how could it be, because we had ordered everything in excess. So once when we talked to the karigar or the worker, I noticed that his eyes were red in the starting, and we also found that while cutting of the tiles, quite a lot of imperfection was happening. So in building, we have to do skirting, we have to do flooring, also make staircases. So if you don't cut the tiles properly, then a lot of wastage could happen. I also noticed that the workspace was quite dimly lit. There was a lot of dust. There's a lot of pollution also over here. All these things could affect the eyes. So, just as a gesture from ourselves on our expense and to care about the worker, we got their eyes tested. And I was shocked to notice that their vision was quite weak and they needed eye care. Then I thought that if maybe this is happening in one workspace, it could happen in various factories as well. So I contacted a friend of my father. His name is Ashish Gupta. He has a factory in Faridabad. So we went there and with a doctor team and tested 100 workers to begin with. I thought maybe 15 or 20 would need some eye care, but you'd be shocked to know that over 90% of the workers needed eye care. Everyone had some power or the other. Some people had dryness, itchiness. Some people had problems to look at a distance. Some people had,
Hypermetropia.
yeah,
Short
some
sight also.
reading glasses. So that was a turning point for me. I understood how big of a problem this could be. While workers are fighting for a fair wage, we can't expect the business owners to do healthcare for them as well. So I understood it is a big problem in India, and we chose blue collar workers specifically. They're about 80% of the workforce in India if we exclude the agricultural workforce. So quite significant number and a big problem indeed.
But you did something about it.
Yeah, so then we started visiting more factories, we contacted more people, we made a proper team of high school volunteers, and now we're conducting camps. Till date, we have tested over 3,700 workers.
Oh, wow. The last I knew was 2,700. You have crossed 1,000 more.
Yeah, so we've done 3,700 till now, and we wish to do 5,000 by the end of this year.
I think you should continue this. There will be more and more. The more you know, the more you will find out.
Yes.
And your eye care equality, it has been featured in 9 newspapers and
Mm.
recognized by the central government. Of course, it's a big feat. You're helping so many people. So what's the strategy that you use to get your work noticed by media organizations, or which other teams who are actually doing similar work
Mm.
can also use?
So I think in order to get your work noticed, the main source is social media only. You have to make an Instagram page for your organization, you have to make LinkedIn for yourself and for your company. If there are a lot of people who want to notice your work, there are a lot of events that are happening every day. People need high school volunteers to speak at events. Even this podcast, for example, you reached me out through LinkedIn. If you do real work, there are a lot of good eyes which will fall upon you. I think the main source of the main point over there is to do real world work which has actually some impact and you're helping someone in a positive way. I think that's the biggest way to get your work noticed.
Your TEDx talk was about learning beyond classroom. So, what's the one experience outside classroom or outside your school, like organizing an I camp or starting MUN? I noticed you have also started an MUN. What skill has that taught you that you couldn't get in your textbooks?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I think outside of school, I've built a lot of skills, one of which is, I think, quick decision making. In school, we are in a protected environment. We are told to do things, we're given assignments. You could make decisions about yourself, how you could you how you want to study, how you want to organize your time, but that's limited to yourself. You don't make decisions for anyone else. But while running, as you said, an MUN, an eye care equality, we have to make decisions for the company. And also we're dealing with real money because we get donations. We have to coordinate with a worker team, with a doctor team. We have 50 volunteers with us, and we also are dealing with people's eyes. It's the most basic organ of the body. And if any mishap happens, it's not acceptable. So I think also understanding these things and dealing with money, all of these things, I think I've learned outside of school.
What was your TED talk about?
So my TED talk was about actions outside of this classroom, how you could take real world actions and what could basically motivate teenagers to do things outside of the classroom, what's beyond the walls of the classroom, and how much there is to explore beyond them.
I would definitely want to know what motivates teenagers. I am a parent of a teenager. So, do you have any tips?
I think it comes from within, and you have to have a goal that
But
you want to
not
do.
every teenager is as motivated as you are. Many choose
What?
to see only the problem part and just put themselves in a situation where they think that I do not have enough opportunities or enough resources. That's why
Hmm.
I'm not able to do it. And they keep blaming parents because probably they do not have a goal or they're not motivated enough because they keep looking at problems only. I do not have a big laptop or I do not have an Apple laptop. That's why I'm not able to do it. What would you say to those teenagers?
I think what you're born with is what you're born with. You can't change anything about it. We have to make most of the resources that we have. And if we can leave all the problems aside and work with what we have, you everyone has problems. Even the richest of the richest have the problems. No one is as happy as we might think. The grass is always greener on the other side. But we have to make most of what we have. And I think if we assign a specific amount of time, that in this time I have to do my work, and after that I can play as much as I want or do whatever in the world I want to do, I think that could work quite well.
You have also addressed 350 students at Euro School in Kathmandu recently. How did you land up with that opportunity? Did they reach out or did you find them?
Yeah, so my cousins study in the Euro school in Kathmandu. They suggested my name to their senior coordinator, Miss Bimbika Thapa ma'am. And then she went over my work and then they contacted me. The steps that we took was to give them a quick reply and start preparing for my speech. And my parents told me that you're going to Kathmandu and pack your bags up. So that was
How
the
was the
journey.
experience there?
The experience was quite well. It's Kathmandu is my nani house, so I've visited many times. But I've visited with a mood of relaxing. I've gone in my summer holidays. This time I had to address students. And over there, I gave about a 20 to 30-minute talk. And then we had questions and answers. And these were students of class 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Middle school.
Yeah. So they were quite intrigued by everything that I had done, and they had a lot of questions. And so I addressed all of them, and it was quite nice. Yeah.
Any question in particular that made you feel like, wow, he's asking this sixth grade kid is asking this question?
Yeah, so I there was like a series of questions and answer which happened between me and one kid. They asked me how I wanted to expand, what we are doing, how we use the funds. So I was quite happy to see how confident the kid was, and they were asking such like grown up questions.
For teens who speak at TEDx events like you or in big events like you went to a different school in a different country, what's the one way that they can find or create those chances even if no one is knocking on their doors? Let's say you are some kids, they think that even if I am doing a great work, I am putting it out there, but nothing is changing for me. What would you tell them?
I think building credibility is most important. So for a show like TEDx, or if you want to speak at a school like I did, if the people or the in charges over there see you speak at an event, like for the example I gave you earlier, Euro School, the senior coordinator over there saw my TEDx speech. They saw my speeches at the school. Our school gives us a lot of opportunities to speak and hone our skills. So you should have some credibility. If even if someone is not knocking at your door, start your own YouTube channel. Start posting in Instagram. You can try to show your public speaking skill, because no school or organization would like to take risk by calling you on their platform if you're not capable of speaking. And I think if you do something in the real world, if you create some change or you get some impact, then a lot of eyes could fall upon you. And even if no one is contacting you, try to knock at their door if they're not knocking at yours. All these events, they many events happen every year. They happen every season. So of course they'll need new people to, for example, as a guest speaker or a chief guest. So you can contact them, tell them the work you have done, and then they could proceed with you.
And this is a very important point. Reach out. If nobody is reaching you, reach out. Create
Yeah.
connection, network. That's a very important tip. I also noticed that you had a that opportunity with LaunchX at
Yes.
the University of Michigan. Did you go
Mm.
to the University of Michigan or was it online?
I went there in person. It was a 4 week program.
Okay.
So LaunchX is basically about business and startups. There were a total of 80 students selected all over the world, and I had the opportunity to go as well.
What did you learn there? Any tips for those who cannot make there? Because I think it's a paid one.
Yeah, it's a paid one. So in LaunchX, it was all about business. And the first 2 weeks, that the most important thing that they taught us, and something which I had taken with me back to home, is create a business based on a problem. If you create a solution and then you're finding people who want to use your solution or people who want to actually pay for it, then it's no good. Work on a problem. For example, if going back, people wanted comfortable chairs, like they had no comfortable place to sit, then someone created a sofa or a cushion.
Now
So
everyone has it.
yeah, now everyone has it at their homes. So pick a basic problem that the people have, or even a niche one, for example, and then work towards a solution. Don't create a solution and then go back to finding a problem for it. Also, another thing,
Identify a problem.
yeah, identify a problem. And another thing I learned was to do market survey and a lot of research about your product. And they said that don't go to your family members because they'll say whatever you have done is the best. Go to actual people and see if they'll actually pay for it. On the street, you show a product to someone, they'll say, yeah, it's very good. But would they actually pay for it? That's the main thing when we think about business. And that's what I learned from there.
What did you learn about market survey? If we talk about, you should definitely have a market survey. Let's say you identified a problem. Now you
Hmm.
know you have to create a product, but before product, you need to know if actually there is a market, if actually somebody is going to buy it. How would you do a market survey? Average is Google Forms, but Google Forms we can only send to the people if we have email address. What other tips did you learn?
So there was this for a type of the website that we used was Typeform. Over there, you can pay a nominal fees and random people all over the world fill your survey. You can get all those stats. And for market research, what I've understand is there are quite a lot of technical terms like TAM. There's how much your market is valued at. You can also look at the year to year growth and all these things. But as a teenager, if you're talking about teens, the business you'll do start at a small scale. Even if you don't know all these big numbers, it doesn't matter. Make something valuable and something which people will actually buy, and then you can scale up.
Really nice to know. Have you implemented any of those strategies or you are waiting until the 12th grade exam is over?
You talked about the MUN. It was a venture which I started with two of my friends. It was an idea which we just discussed in the bus. So we were talking about how we are interested in debating, how we attend a lot of MUNs outside of school and even in school. Why don't we create one of our own? We didn't know what was the market size at that time, whether it was increasing or decreasing, how many people participate. It was just an idea of our own and we proceeded with it. It was just after the lockdown, so we thought that we can do it via Zoom. We can do it easily online. So let's create a website, let's create an Instagram page, let's start floating out the committees, the executive board. And then we had about 85 registrations from 3 countries in the world and 12 schools, 16 states. So it was quite a hit. It was just an idea that we thought in the bus. But
How did
uh,
other countries people know about your MUN?
so we ran Instagram ads. I think through that we got people from other countries and also by word of mouth marketing. People they informed their friends that we're doing this MUN, you could also do it. And we had quite fun committees also. Like we had conventional committees which talk about the world problem like the UN does. But to make it interactive, we also added FIFA, IPL, and Naruto to our committees.
That's nice.
Hmm.
You're already a businessman.
No, there's a lot.
Yes, there is. It's always a journey. But
Yeah.
being just a 12th grade student, it's too much of information that you already have and you have really assimilated it well. You are a co founder of MUN. What skills did you pick while leading such a organization? Like you said, it's international now. There are so many people participating, 83% registrations. Did you already have all the skills or did you build the skills on the go?
I think built all the skills on the go because like I said, dealing with money, so as someone registers, you get cash into your account. Understanding whether we needed like very basic, whether we needed Zoom premium or not. Can we do breakout rooms without the paid version? All of these things, and also how to do the opening ceremony, closing ceremony, which guest would come in, what awards we give to them, creating certificates. All of these things were quite new to us. We had never been on that end. We had gone to MUNs, we had participated as delegates, but not ever as the organizer. So, along with my friends, we figured everything out. We had seen websites, we visit Google every day, but we had never created one of our own. So, we built a team, we had people who knew how to do website building. All of these things we learned everything on the go.
Is there any lesson that you would like to give the teens who are viewing this show that if they want to launch their own initiatives, what are the key points that they should keep in mind or the key challenges that they will have to face?
Yeah, so the key points are basically when you have to start something on your own, it doesn't really have to be about solving the world hunger or solving inequality. Those are very big concepts. Of course, you could do it, but as a teen, there's only as much as we can do.
True.
So start something which you're really passionate about. And as teens, we tend to divert a lot. One day we are playing football, the other day we go to cricket. I used to play all the different sports you can name. So try to do something you're passionate about. It could be as small as like you like dogs or you like cats. Taking an example from my school only. So a lot of 9th and 10th graders have also started their own organizations. So there's this one called Ashray Initiative. They go to different dog shelters. Then there's also this one called the Farak Foundation. They go to old age homes. So what from what I have seen on their Instagram page, what I've understood is that old age homes are quite well funded. They have no materialistic wants. The elderly just want people to spend time with them. So they go there, spend time with them, play games. Then there's this one called Project Prabhav. It's from my friend Amira only. So she likes kids, so they've started teaching underprivileged kids. They do storytelling, they do worksheets with them, they teach them basic English and math. Then even like I would also like to address the people who don't have a specific aim. By an example only, there's this one called Project Samarthan. So they say they believe that if you have any problem in the world, come to us and we'll find a solution. And these are just ninth grade students. I reached out to them, like, how can you help us in eye care equality? They said, we'll give food boxes to each of the workers. So I said, why not come to us to a factory? They came with us, they collaborated with us, and they gave tote bags and food boxes to all of the workers and snacks. We did one camp over there. So there's a lot you can do. There's no limit to anything. But as a teenager, I think you should do something about which you have a lot of passion and have the courage to step in outside your comfort zone, step into the real world, and just start doing. I think if you start, then there's no end to possibilities.
Harsh, you talked about passion. I think
Mm,
passion is much overrated with especially teenagers. I work with a lot of teens and I see tons of them unmotivated, even if they have all the resources. They have all the
mm,
privileges that a modern person can have, everything at their
mm,
disposal. But when you talk about passion, it's missing. Talk about motivation, it's missing because they're too comfortable. Parents
mm.
are worried because they don't want to do. And when you talk to them, they say, yeah, I want to do, but I don't know what to do. Even if you set a goal for them, you tell them that you can do this, but it's missing. When they talk to an outsider, they show some passion, but when it's actual work, they don't want to do. So how do we deal with those teenagers? And that's a huge considerable majority. It's not minority. I think in my personal opinion, I have seen if there are like 100 teens, if we consider a set up sample size of 100, 10 or
Mm.
15 are self motivated. Rest of them, 95%, from all backgrounds, they are not.
Yeah.
What's your advice to them? Because since you are a teenager, you might understand the mindset very well. You might have friends, you might have seen people from all the backgrounds.
I think to identify your passion, you need to explore a lot. So in ninth grade, I explored with everything. I even did a CS course. I studied about management, finance, but I ended up choosing business as what I want to study further. And talking about passion, I think it comes internally. A friend of mine told me that even an Instagram reel can motivate you, but that's temporary. You have to develop that discipline and determination. Without I think passion is overhyped, as you said. It's discipline that matters. If you can't do the same thing day on day, then it doesn't make any sense. And a lot of people are quite ambitious, but if they're just laying idle, where will that ambition go? You need an outlet where you can put all of that positive energy and make something big out of it.
You'll be surprised to know, or maybe not. I have seen kids from background where they hardly had one meal a day
Mm,
and they are winning robotics challenges. Yesterday, I was talking to a kid, his name is Sumit. He's from a very poor background because he had to walk 2 kilometers every day to reach school with no breakfast. And that kid is winning robotics challenges. Because, like you
yes.
talked, if nobody reaches you, he outreached because he wanted to do something about his situation. And now he is dreaming about going to MIT, and I'm sure he will. He's a 13-year-old kid, but he will.
Yes, he will.
You are also juggling school, startups, you are going for speaking gigs, and you are also a black belt in karate and a
Yeah.
chess player. What's the one way that you focus, you strategize, and you constantly upgrade your skills?
I think having your parents in the loop and having them in the process also plays a quite a pivotal role, because as a teenager not everything is in your control. You can't do everything, and even though teens tend to sort of develop this, I'll repeat, yeah, even though teens tend to create this barrier with their parents, even I did, but if we keep them in the loop, it could be quite pivotal. And they have experienced so much before us, and they know how to manage your time. If you have something the next day, maybe we think we can manage 15 things at once, but their experience, they know you can do limited amounts of thing a day. And to manage my time, I believe to-do list are the best things to do.
Do you
They
make a
quite,
to do list?
yeah, I'll show you. So if I open my drawer, you can see I have so many to-do lists over here.
Wow.
I might not have done everything,
But you have the
but
list.
yeah, but I do have the list. And I think making it on paper is more important, because as we're going digital, we tend to make everything on our phones. And this is
And
from
you don't even
experience.
look at it.
Yeah, this is from experience. Even I made a to-do list on my phone. I downloaded that reminders app, which gives you a reminder. But once you open your phone, there's 100 distractions. You'll end up chatting with your friends. You'll do everything, and then you'll come back to the to-do list till the time all the time has gone.
Time is already wrapped up.
Yeah. And also something that I've noticed when I make these to-do lists on paper and I tick them off, that also gives me a sort of motivation key, now do it quickly and keep ticking it off. So I
That
think
gives
that,
us certain
yeah.
sets gratification. So looking ahead, what's the opportunity you are aiming for next for your eye care equity or your tailored? You have also created tailored. What is that?
So Tailored was a project that we did in LaunchX. So in LaunchX, as I said, 80 students get selected. You get divided into teams of four, and
Okay.
you're told to make a startup on your own. There's little to no hand holding in there. We attend lectures in the morning, and then in the evening all the time goes to creating your own startup. So I was also divided into a team of four. I had one member from the US, I had one from Taiwan, and one from China. So it was quite a diverse team. The topic that we ended upon was tailored. It was basically a platform like you have the For You page on Instagram, where a lot of posts come and you can randomly click on one. So we decided to create something similar for men and in the clothing industry.
Wow.
There was also a use of generative AI in that. So it gives you suggestions. If you click on it, you could maybe like the outfit or comment on it and also add to cart, which would become the revenue model for us. And we incorporated AI in the way whether if you like select an item or you select some certain post, the algorithm understands you as a user and gives you similar suggestions, so that you could spend the most time on the app, and then we could get a higher revenue from that.
That's really nice. Is it a functional one or the prototype is ready?
No, we are working on the prototype.
Okay.
So we showed the prototype at the end of the 4 weeks, and we're still working on it because it's quite a big journey. You
Yes.
you have millions of outfits. Creating those databases is taking some time.
So all four of you are still connected and working on it.
Yeah.
That's really nice. You made new connections also.
Yes. Over there, people were from all sorts of parts of the world. I made friends from Kazakhstan. I made friends from the US, and I had a great time over there. It was 4 weeks long. I also learned like how people would live in the college, because we were living in the University of Michigan, away from home, had to do everything. In India, we have so many privileges. Someone is cooking for you, someone is washing your clothes for you. But over there, there's no one. You eat by yourself, you clean by yourself. So quite a good experience.
Independent experience.
Yeah.
So, Harsh, it was nice talking to you. But before we wrap up, we have a rapid fire round. In
Okay.
this rapid fire round, you don't overthink. Quick, short answers.
Okay.
What's your favorite chess to outsmart anyone?
I think D4,
Nice. What's the one tech gadget that you wish you had invented?
the smartphone.
Great one.
Even though we misuse it, but I think that's the biggest invention.
Yes, it is. If you could have any AI superpower, what would that be?
Storing all the information in my brain. And
Wow.
like how AI, you say write a 500 word essay, it gives you it to you in 2 seconds. So it has that information stored. That's why.
That's really cool. Nobody ever gave that answer. So, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do?
Live like we do. Like you would have
All the
more.
money belongs to Harsh. What would you do now?
We'd continue living like this only. Maybe we have a bigger house, a bigger car, and maybe more facilities. But at the end of the day, we'll live like this only.
And what would you do if you knew that you will not fail? Any one thing that you would do if you knew that you will not fail?
Create a very big business. Even though I do think that I do try to go with the mindset that I won't fail. But I think, yeah, create a big business.
Yeah, having that thought, it helps that I won't fail no matter what I do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for showing how you work behind your journey. And I'm
Mm.
sure the teens who are watching this, they'll be motivated and there's a lot of takeaways from this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me. I had a great time.
Harsh.
From a single eye test to 3,700 lives impacted, Harsh Kedia reminded us that age is never a limit. He's not just a teen changemaker, he's also the cover of our Next Gen magazine, where he shares exclusive tips for teen innovators. If you ever thought, I'm too young or I don't have enough, this episode proves otherwise. So here's your challenge. What small problem around you are you willing to solve? Subscribe to hear more stories like this, and don't forget to share this with a teen who needs a little push to start their own journey. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and stay dreaming.